I mean, hey, if Glizers wants to be a guest and not the facilitator, we can do that.
No, Liza isn't facilitating.
Okay.
Here's the deal. We're just going to start fucking talking.
Yeah, okay.
And we're going to do our best to not tangent too hard. One tangent. We can drift one topic.
Okay.
We can drift one topic. I'm making the one topic rule, knowing that we're going to go 2 or 3. Okay. But if I say 3 topics away, then it's going to be like 8.
So it's one topic from a central, actually specifically relevant point, right? Like, correct. This isn't like you have one tangent for the whole 2 hours or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's one topic one tangent per.
Yeah, it's more of a boundary. Yeah, that's all it is.
This is a note to future editing, Lex. Just keep a counter for yourself. Just
forgetting.
Throw in a little ding sound effect every time we swerve, we take another exit ramp.
Hey Lex, I have the perfect ping noise. I used it when I was doing Disciples of the Eight. Every time our DM had dropped out of the call due to internet issues, it was a bomb drop counter. By the end of the 2nd episode, we hit 12.
Amazing.
Damn.
So bad.
Let's grab ourselves 5 minutes and then we'll get started.
Mm-hmm. No one say anything weird about me while I'm gone.
Joke's on you. I'm going to say a lot of nice things about you while you're gone, and there's nothing you can do about it.
When I meet Lex for the first time, I'm going to give them such a big fucking hug. It's going to be wild as fuck. Just the longest, warmest hug. It's going to be the best hug ever.
Can we all meet in person and do a group hug with everyone who is comfortable with such a thing?
One day.
Yes.
I thought we were going to do
live
that
so far away.
Are we ready?
Oh.
All right. I'll do the intro here. Yep. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Gamewoven Cross Stitch. If Gamewoven is the beautiful tapestry of story and play that we weave together in this space, then Cross Stitch is the old ladies who sit around in a circle and gossip. That's right, it's a talk program. I'm joined here with Bree, with Lex, with Zad, with me, TT Benjamin, and perhaps the most important, Glyza, who played Reginald on our inaugural 2 episodes.
It's Reginald Ramirez Ramos.
Reginald Ramirez Ramos in our inaugural 2 episodes, who became Brazen at the end, which is something that by the time you've listened to this, you will know what that is. Our goal with this is to do just a little sit and a kickback and a chat program, get to know us a little bit better, and talk about the previous arc. We're thinking of doing these, every 3 or 4 games, somewhere in there?
It's going to be every 3 or 4 games. Internally, we are discussing things in terms of kind of chunky arcs of, again, 3 or 4 games. We want to put one of these at the end of each of those because they are discrete pieces. Each of them forms a whole text of itself, or at least we're going to try to do that. So that's what we're thinking.
Yeah, to kind of lift the curtain a little bit, when we talk about what we're going to play, we talk about how we can chain a few things together to sort of tell something that resembles a story. So you know what, Zad? Why don't you tell everyone, to get us started, your mad scientist idea for how we were going to begin Gamewoven from the audience for the audience to get a really cool experience.
Yeah, boy, there's a part of me that wants to just go back and find where I pitched this in the chat originally, but
it was 10 paragraphs.
That sounds.
It was also
that sounds
several
about right.
months ago.
Oh, it was a long time.
And we talk a lot pretty much every day.
Oh, okay. You can be honest. I talk a lot.
Lex, here's the difference between you and me. You talk in many, many small messages. I talk in the occasional exceedingly long message that has to get broken up into 2 messages because I hit the non-nitro Discord character limit.
And you know what? Like, I appreciate that about you. I don't read them all.
No, I know.
Yeah, and always while I'm at work.
I still remember when we were doing stuff for Baltine, you sent me stuff about your characters mid-afternoon on a Sunday, and I'm like, I like this. I'm currently in the grocery store. I will get back to
you. I write when I can, is how I'm going to comment on that right now.
I do all my writing at 3 a.m. like a normal person.
I'm not working or audio editing.
Sending.
I've never sent a weird meme at 3 a.m., Benjamin.
Anyway, Zan, why don't you tell the...
Okay, so it's a genre of tweet that I've seen a few places where somebody, and I made one of these to Ben. This is where kind of like our involvement with this idea started. Dylan put out one that was an absolute banger, but it's basically just like, here's a pitch for a way to string together a bunch of games to take place like within a context, and how each of those games might stack on top of each other in the different kinds of stories that they might tell. So that's the genesis of the idea. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a new idea, but hey, we're running with it. When we actually got the crew together, got the original 5 of us in the chat, and the rubber started hitting the road, in order to tell a deeply personal story, you need to have a lot of context. And like that context comes from the world. If you think about one of the great strengths of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies is he doesn't necessarily excise 90% of the bullshit that makes Tolkien's Lord of the Rings impossible for me to read. It's all still there, but he manages to pull everything to the background and tells a story that is centered on like this group of 9 characters and the things that the people are doing. So I knew that I wanted to do that, or I knew that like we needed to get to a place where we could tell that story about people doing stuff. But what we needed to do was to start from that zoomed out perspective to build that context. Building that context is interesting. It's especially interesting to a certain kind of person, but that's not everybody. And how that context got built and what that context is more meaningful when you've got personal experience and build curiosity about those, like about what that context is and what it means and what it does. So when I pitched this initial run of, hey, let's do a world building game to create an area, let's do another game that will define like a dungeon, and then let's do a more combat centric or a more like character driven tactics sort of game to explore that dungeon. The thing that I realized was like, hey, that's front loading buckets of content before we actually get to that nitty gritty, like sort of the traditional story of people doing stuff. And that's when I was like, hey, what if we made those and then released them in the opposite order, so that the thing that people hear first, that you, the audience, get to hear first, is people doing stuff in a highly detailed and well realized world, so that it would hopefully build the curiosity to give you the encyclopedia entries later on.
Kind of the way I've described it to people is we built the world from like outside in, broad focus to narrow, and then introduced it from the inside out.
Yes.
So, Glyza, as the victim of this experience, tell us about like what that was like, sort of from the inside out, not knowing that we, like, just how much groundwork we had laid.
Honestly, for me, whenever I play a lot of stuff, my favorite thing to do is just to make up stuff. Like, if I don't know certain things, I would just make up stuff. And having this world where I don't know a lot of what you've already played and what you've already decided, and you gave me this whole thing where, like, you can do whatever you want and you can build however you want, and I was like, fuck yeah. Whatever I'm gonna say now is canon, and I'm going to make like the most random fucked up stuff, or not fucked up stuff, random stuff. If I'm gonna pet a dog, I will pet a dog. I don't care. If I'm gonna pick up a weapon, I will pick up a weapon, even though I've been told not to do it, and that's just my brand of chaos. And I really, really enjoyed that with this game and with Quest. And it was fun, so I liked it. And I think it fit the kind of player I am. Also, one more thing, I never metagame because I don't know the rules well enough to metagame. So that's the thing that you know about me now, listeners. I never metagame.
I think my favorite thing about, like, your approach where you're like, oh, I'm just going to make stuff up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You're not going to be ready for me. You're not going to be ready for me. And then, like, everything that you seeded, thinking that you had thrown a wrench in our plans, you were actually just foreshadowing.
Yep.
First of all, I never throw things to wreck your plans. That's never on purpose. It just happens because I don't know shit, and it's just the way I am.
But then everything, you're like tossing something out here, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh, wait till you listen to Ground itself. Oh my god, you just set up something that we literally already recorded months ago.
Yeah. Like,
Just
I
that
envy
moment.
Apollo.
Are we sure no one told Glyza? Are we sure?
Zad, how many times did you loan Glyza the brain cell?
First of all, no.
I didn't say word one about this until after it was recorded. And then I dumped a lot of stuff that is, like, currently in that demi-canon space towards Glyza about the Undying Empire.
Okay.
But
To be clear, you and Ben specifically tease a lot of shit on Twitter.
Yes.
When I've been so careful about not spoiling anything, and they all just like, okay, but like, what if there were people who are maybe called, like, not the Brazen? That'd be a spoiler, but like, what if they existed?
Yeah, also, not gonna lie, Ben, the second that you said you were gonna turn one of the adventurers into Brazen, I knew Glyza was gonna be the thing. I'm like, they're gonna be the one that touches the thing. I know this for a fact. I have seen it happen.
Yep.
This is dangerous. You shouldn't touch it. Touch.
I designed that whole, like, quest adventure arc knowing for a fact that of the people that I had gotten in that space, Glyza was going to be the one that was going to be the first to touch one of the weapons. There was no. It was such a good read. It was practically railroading. Like, we didn't have to plan it. I just knew.
you just, like, you throw it up in the air and watch it come down.
I remember specifically when we were recording the Ground itself. At some point, I stopped and went, "Glyza's gonna love this." I don't remember if it made it.
Too.
I don't remember if it made it to the final cut or not. But
There was the bit with the dragon.
yes.
Oh yeah.
The dragon that got turned into a Draco Lich.
Mm.
Which, like, I mean, the number of
First of all,
details.
I'm gonna be best friends with that dragon, 100%. I don't
One day,
care.
maybe.
You did
Yeah,
just
we
help
gotta-
kill her friends, but okay.
I can make
They're
new
already
friends.
Dragons have a complicated relationship living as long as they do. Like,
True.
Fair.
Yeah.
Also, it's not fair for you all to just guess that I like dragons. It's not like I've been keeping that a secret.
True.
It's not like that's a big secret that Glyza likes dragons. It's not a secret.
It's not a secret.
I am really interested in following that dragon around a little bit because
That'd be cool.
of the characters we introduced in the skeletons that still exist and didn't die, that one is exceedingly interesting. Like this bronze dragon, that bronze? Was it brass or bronze?
Bones now.
She had become bronze. She became first.
Like this dragon that's on the run from people. So the I don't know, the whole fun of the experience is like creating more questions. Like who is chasing this dragon that this dragon's actually afraid of? That's the first thing.
Mhm.
And then like, okay, now this dragon's a gravekeeper. So now we've got this like whole thing where there's like apparently like this group of gravekeepers and they're really important. And now we've got a dragon who is a gravekeeper. And it's like, well, can we what's all that about? Can we follow that dragon around a little bit? That'd be kind of neat. I want to see what's up with the
There
dragon.
is specifically a tabletop game I've seen that is about being a baby dragon who's just hatched. And we did establish there's a funny little egg. So that's an option.
Oh
It's
my
actually a
God.
game written by Super Dylan.
Oh, yeah, we gotta
Unsurprising.
play it then. We gotta
Yeah.
play it then. We love Super Dylan here.
It's
Is
just
it
called-
group or is it solo?
I think it's a solo one. I think it's just called Andy, as in D&D, and the dragon's name is Andy. Get it? Uh-huh.
Aw,
I've been wanting to do
The name of
a
my
solo
kid.
game.
Sorry.
You're gonna name your kid Andy?
Yeah, the name of my kid is Andy.
You heard it here first, folks.
Well,
You heard it here first. Glyza's naming their kid Andy.
Yeah, breaking news.
Yes, breaking.
breaking. Nobody ever knew that because I don't make announcements on Twitter at all.
True. Glyza famously quiet on Twitter.
Yeah.
Super
Soon
quiet.
to be even quieter when Elon Musk destroys Twitter. Personally.
Hey,
by
Dad, you good?
himself.
I have just dropped
Ooh,
some
ugh,
water.
disaster.
None of it got into my keyboard, so that's good. Let me go grab a
Bless.
towel. I'll be right back.
Understandable.
So party time. Okay.
Hey, Liza, what's a funny little sewing cross stitch term that would be good for a segment aside from cross stitch? That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, throw some cross-stitch lingo at us and we'll use it for breaking up segments.
Yeah, for sure.
There's French knot, backstitch.
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 Yeah.
What's that?
I mean, we don't know what a cross stitch is either, so.
I mean, a cross stitch. I mean, a backstitch is just a step that you have to do. It basically always go back into the same hole as the previous stitch, so your stitches look connected.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
Oh,
okay.
so a backstitch in the Gamewoven world would be when we play a game specifically to fix a massive continuity error that
Yes.
breaks everything. Yeah, like which
Gotcha.
maybe we've already done it, but if we accidentally write ourselves such a giant plot hole that it would absorb the universe, we have to fix it with a backstitch.
I don't think we have enough answers out there to have contradicted any of them, and our world is a very big place. We've looked at one very fucked up little valley.
Well, I'm a nitpicker.
Oh,
And
good.
I may have a file of very small.
Oh my god, Lex, this is the perfect place
Inconsistencies.
for you to unleash that on us. This is where you should do that.
I mean, first thing I noticed was Pilfer shouldn't have his knife anymore. He did give it up to the Dragon Lady,
Gave it to the Dragon Lady. That's right.
and so when Pilfer had another knife, I'm like, it shouldn't happen. We have more than once because we have not disparaging. That's not the right word at all. Disagreeing takes on what makes a brazen. More than once, we've had a few ways to become one just kind of come up.
Wait, I thought it was just if you pick up a weapon that's related to your ancestry, that's a brazen. You
Yes.
become a brazen. Yeah, right?
Yes, but then also we had the thing happen with Pilfer and
I have this one.
Reginald
one.
Ramirez Ramos.
yeah.
I have this one.
No, Reginald. No, the implication that I was giving is that Reginald is descended of that knight. That's
Also,
what I was
So
trying to
that
imply.
means Juniper can also be a brazen if she picks it up.
We
Correct.
talked about that. Yes. Juniper could potentially be brazen.
Very nice.
Could I issue a potential other read of that situation?
Okay.
Yeah, let her rip.
That was Pilfer's knife, and something
Yes.
that we've talked about is lineage is not necessarily
Yeah, blood.
lineage is
related,
not
correct.
necessarily strictly related to blood. It has to do it adapts to the way that family is considered. And so
Mhm.
when the general died, the knife was inherited by Pilfer, and when Reginald Ramos Ramirez picked up the knife, or was specifically gifted the knife by Pilfer was accepting Reginald specifically as the
Okay.
new master, therefore bringing him into the lineage. Both of those things are interesting to me. I really like the idea, just because this is like where my heart is, like my headcanon is that Reg isn't like blood related necessarily.
Okay.
Or also, both could be true. Like,
Cool.
both of those things could be true. Pilfer could have just held on to that knife forever. But I like the idea that Pilfer made the explicit decision to include
Though
Reginald Ramos Ramirez.
there is one explanation for why Pilfer has the knife again that I have thought of. Well, two. But the main one I think is funnier. Is we have established that Brazen can just like summon their weapons back like Thor.
So he summoned it back. When
Yeah,
there was
he's
a
like, "Here,
threat,"
take
and
this
then
gift.
did nothing while all of your friends got killed.
Yeah.
And then he gets bored.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, Zad. Now, as a relentless optimizer, what you've done is you have created the unlimited brazen dog glitch, which means that all you need to
That was a series of words I didn't expect.
I don't think a single one of those words was in the Bible.
Okay. Furthermore, though, however, unlimited brazen dog glitch, yes.
That's the name of my punk band.
Lord.
Whose judgment do you trust better? Who would better to trust with the ability to create unlimited brazen than a dog?
You're fully correct. No, you're
I'm
right.
going to be real with you. I would not. Well, all right. So I wouldn't trust my dog with bequeathing a weapon unto anyone, because my dog is loves everyone regardless of their sins. My basset hound would be a very good guard dog, but not because she would chase the burglars away, but because she would love them so much that it would wake us up. And then we would know there's an intruder. So I would not want Mildred to hand, for example, someone breaking into my house a gun. Because
You
then my
sound
dog
like a
has
hater,
given this
dog.
person a gun. What?
You sound like a hater. Why would you do that? Mildred is completely qualified to judge people who would be good at, being
Bringing
loyal
a gun
soldiers.
into my house?
I mean,
That's because they're
important
loyal.
question, Ben. Important question. How many absolute pieces of shit do you have over to your house?
True.
None whatsoever.
Well.
Problem solved.
So here's the nightmare scenario. There is a break and enter. Mildred, we left the gate open that keeps Mildred from the closet. Now, due to an earlier earthquake, my gun has fallen down to the bottom of the closet and the door is open. Mildred goes, wanting to give a gift to our unexpected guest, who is actually an intruder, goes, finds my gun, picks it up, brings it to the intruder and hands it to the intruder because she likes giving things to people. The intruder now has a gun. Now, what are the odds of that happening? Very low.
But here's the thing.
Surprise, it's me.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, right? Listen. Zad brought up a very important question, and now I'm thinking about it. have you ever invited a piece of shit in your house?
I mean, technically,
Have
I
you
feel
ever?
like statistically, we all have.
everyone has.
Yes.
Yeah.
But have you proven that they're pieces of shit? What if Mildred, in all her wiseness and all her glory, whatever, has always met really good people because those are the people that you interact with, and then you haven't tested, like, you know, a bad person coming in. So to really prove that Mildred will love everyone, I think you need to invite a really shitty person into your house, and I will volunteer.
No, none of that.
You just want to
it
pet
would
the
be
dog.
funny if it'd be really funny if that was a
I
time
do with
Mildred.
love.
It'd be
Yeah.
funny if that was the time Mildred chose to be like, Father, this person is of ill repute. Remove them from the domicile.
So,
That's why you just get a dog like mine. Finn would be more likely to steal someone else's gun because he likes to steal shoes and TV remotes in classes.
dogs with guns.
Dogs with guns.
So
Dogs with
my
guns.
wife is thoroughly convinced that if a bad person, like, she has a rule that if someone comes in and Mildred doesn't automatically like them, no matter how we feel about that person has to leave.
Fair.
Just because, like, Mildred is so accepting of everyone except rabbits. She'll eat a rabbit. She hasn't yet, but she wants to.
Same with Finn.
If someone came in that, like, and she, like, changed her timbre, like, this person might actually be, like, spiritually evil.
An
Look.
axe murderer.
Yeah,
Should-
potentially.
Somebody who murders axes. Sorry.
Should we meander back to on topic?
Yes.
I will say one thing though. I will
Okay.
say one thing though.
Let's get to the
it doesn't matter
backstage.
how nice a dog is. I have met some racist dogs. I have met some dogs with bad opinions.
Mildred, you're being problematic. No,
Our-
she's good.
But like our certain grave robbers who look like people who have bad opinions. God, I can't believe we ended the episode with
Gulp
them.
and swallow.
Gulp and swallow, baby.
swallow. So,
I want to be Gulp and Swallow's friends. Just, you know,
so,
to hang out with them and watch how bad they are. I just love them.
so for the record, Gulp and Swallow happened because I regularly can't sleep, and I was just up awake at night at like 4 a.m. And I'm like, what would be the worst names for people? What would be the worst names possible for a guy? I'm like, it's either Gulp or it's Swallow. One of those is the worst name. And then they became NPCs that wanted to put somewhere. I was like, I don't know where they're gonna end up. Are they gonna end up in like D&D? Are they gonna end up in Masks? Are they gonna end up in Vampire the Masquerade? I didn't know where they'd end up, but I'm
I mean,
so
just
glad they ended up.
Listen, keep shoving these two in. Just keep bringing them back.
Yeah,
Swallow is not a terrible name. Swallow is kind of bird. I feel like you got get some out of a single person whose name is Swallow. You could probably do some cool stuff. Be a very elegant.
I think it'd be all right.
Pair that person with Gulp, and it's just nasty.
Yeah, so I think actually we've
Masters.
declared officially the worst name is Gulp.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
So, for example,
But-
if you go ahead.
Uh-oh.
But
But
Gulp
Mhm.
and Swallow is much worse.
Yo,
I
together as
agree.
a pair.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, worse
That's
than the
why
sum of
they
their
are
parts.
forever changed
But Gulp
together.
and Swallow together are just much, much worse, right? So, like, Gulp is bad, whatever. But if you put Gulp and Swallow together, it's just the worst thing.
But here's the tavern rule: if you name a tavern the Gulp and Swallow,
It's a great
like,
tavern.
I would go there.
No, I'd go there. That's a great
I
tavern.
mean, I would
I
go
know
there
what
with
they've got.
expectations.
Yeah,
I would go there with certain expectations, and if those expectations are not met, then this is the worst.
I intend to drink bad beer that is somehow good, and I intend to eat bad food that is also somehow
somehow
good.
good.
True. Yeah.
You and I have very different expectations.
The shittier that place looks, the worse part of town that it's in, the better that bar is.
Oh no, I've been in buildings, like I've been in bars that look like the building says slurs. They were great. Anyway, for those who didn't get to hear the unedited version, we just came back from a tangent about concrete pigs. You will not be provided context for that sentence. Anyway.
That's a backstitch, baby.
It's gonna be a short episode.
Lord.
I feel like, okay, so normally Rob is here. And
shout out to Rob. We love Rob.
Rob's
trying.
I know. We're honestly, we're all trying really hard, and we're all bad at it. But for some reason, we listen to Rob because he's like
true.
a camp counselor.
He does have that. He has. Rob has mentioned more than once that he gives like youth pastor vibes.
That's not wrong. Dad, you were saying something about something from Alex?
Oh,
the concrete
that's
pig.
the concrete pig is
That's a shout.
just
Okay.
that is a Telluride callback.
Yes, and also that's going to be Alex is going to hear the concrete pig discourse because that's going to be patron content.
Sign up for a Patreon.
Hey, we
Lord.
should take a break and thank patrons. Do we want to take a break and thank patrons?
Let's take a break and
should
thank
take a
patrons.
break.
Hey,
Take a
And
break
then
and
maybe
thank
we can
patrons.
actually get on topic.
true.
We have 2 patrons. All right, we're just getting started. I ain't ashamed. 2 patrons is great.
Mm-hmm.
Patron number 1, our very first patron, a super fan, is Alex Roke himself of Canada. One of my favorite people, great listener, and a good friend who likes to hop in my DMs and make fun of me. Literally, whenever I screw something up continuity-wise on one of my other podcasts, Alex Roke is right there. Be like, "Oh, you screwed that up." And then finally, our latest patron is Jay from the UK. I'm not going to do his last name because that's weird. and rude. I'm not going to dox our patron. That'd be messed up. He's Golden Elk in the Patreon. He's a fan of world-building games. So I think what is really cool is that exists outside of our circle. So Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jay, for being our early patrons. Thank you for getting on the ground floor. If you would like to join our Patreon, do that. It's Patreon/Gamewoven. Somehow our name is rare enough that you can search Gamewoven, you'll find Gamewoven stuff and not other stuff.
Yeah, look at us go. SEO, baby.
SEO, baby, let's go!
We went through so many names that would be so much more difficult to truncate or to find
Hey,
socials
look.
for.
There were some really poetic names. There were a couple of them that were dick jokes.
There was no dick joke in sight, for sure.
We did not do a single dick joke when deciding.
I've never made a dick joke in my life.
Yeah,
Citation
we
needed.
We would never have a name that literally just spells out dicks. What are you talking about?
Did we do that? Is that
Yeah,
a thing
who
we did?
submitted that one? Was that Zad?
Yeah, that was me. There were a couple of those.
Not gonna lie, I already don't remember a single one of the potential names we were going for.
Same. It was a long time ago.
It sure
Yeah.
was.
We
Sure
have
was.
covered a lot of ground since then.
Mhm.
The ground itself, you might say.
The ground itself.
From 1,000 years of history to the personal lives of these skeletons, which was mostly everyone being pissed off at Sammy for forgetting the key.
True.
So in Skeletons, I just loved the moment when Zad decided that I wasn't actually Captain Seamus.
Yeah.
That might be one of my
favorite moment.
probably
that was-
top 5 gaming moment for me. Because I was fully intending to be this ridiculous Space Marine character for the Emperor, and Zad just did Uno reverse carded me.
Okay, but here's the thing. I only kind of did that. That was a prompt. That was one of the prompts that came up in the in the glory. So that's why the author of the game, the person who wrote the game, has a seat at the table, and why that's such a cool principle to have. Because it's that changed that entire character. I was having a conversation with other friends, and one of them specifically called out Sammy as like their favorite part of that. I love Sammy's arc.
Yeah.
I like even
It
with
made
the way
it
that
10
we got.
times better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So-
yeah.
Speaking of Sammy, I think it was in the round that you were running, Ben, with was he like the Necromancer or something?
Yes.
So my thought was, if Sammy hadn't been hiding, I was still gonna step out, but to defend him. And
Aw.
the answer to who do you love was going to be different.
No, I fucked up. I could have had love.
But you weren't there. You were off hiding somewhere, so yeah,
So-
because I was like, and that way she wouldn't have broken her vow because she swore to never leave the side of the one she loved. But you were hiding.
Sammy the coward. What were you gonna say, Lex?
Oh, I was gonna say, if Zad hadn't changed Seamus, I would have, because I don't know what it was. The second you did the Seamus voice, I'm like, nah, that's not it. That's not it. I was immediately like, nah, I'm gonna fix that. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna fuck with him. I'm gonna say something, and he's gonna yes and. I'm gonna fix it.
This is the secret. Everybody, if anybody ever says I can fix him, what they mean is I wish he was somebody else entirely.
Yeah.
True.
And sometimes that's just
and-
better.
Man, I wish he were a shitty coward.
And in the magic of role playing games, you too can achieve this.
True.
Yeah.
Play another game.
I will say, Ben, you rolled with that so well.
I have been a DM so long, and I am so used to being the heel, and I was just so happy to be the heel yet again. I'm just very used to it. My favorite character in Skeletons was Torque. Leodwa. I always call him Torque because I can't. I love
Torque is a much cooler name.
I know,
And also
right? I
a
had
character from
so much
Borderlands.
fun. What?
Much like Torg is a character from Borderlands, much like another name from Borderlands that Ben
Captain
didn't catch.
Jack. God damn it! And David Tilstra wouldn't stop saying it, so there was no way to edit that out.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
Yeah.
I told him afterwards, and we laughed about it. I told him while I was happening, and we laughed.
Look, y'all quest playing motherfuckers were like, I was like just trying to like throw in a little flavor. I was like, oh, they think I'm the pirate or whatever. And then sure as shit, someone's like, oh, what was your pirate name? And I grabbed the first one, and it was from Borderlands.
Like I wasn't even sure if like you played Borderlands or not, so I was like, does he know?
No.
Yo, you never touched it.
So I played Borderlands 1, not 2. Jack is in 2, but I have heard of Handsome Jack, and as soon as you were like, Handsome Jack is in Borderlands, everyone was like, oh no, that's that fucking villain that everyone really likes from Borderlands 2. Oh no!
And also, before I had listened to the episode, I saw Glyza's post of no context spoilers, and it was a picture of Handsome Jack. And I was like,
Shit.
huh, I wonder why he's there. What could have possibly happened?
I specifically put Handsome Jack because I play Borderlands a little bit,
Yeah.
and I knew Handsome Jack, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I was like, how could
did you know
Handsome
I didn't
Jack...
know, Glyza?
I didn't know you didn't know. I just thought you were just rolling with it.
I was both rolling with it and I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I was like, how could Handsome Jack have possibly come up in Quest? Is it because this is a fan art of him as a pirate? Because the picture was him as a pirate. I'm like, okay, pirates were involved maybe. Or maybe there was just someone named Jack. Or someone was hot. I don't know. But it sure wasn't just someone saying the name Handsome Jack over and over.
I specifically typed Pirate Handsome Jack when I looked for it.
I love that. So, Glyza, you're the only one who didn't know anything about this world when you were first introduced to it. What was it like, and what questions did you have afterwards?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I wanted to know more about, like, because at the very end, when we were wrapping up and we were talking about, like, the skeletons and the lives of the skeletons, and when I re-listened to the story when it came out, I really liked that whole, like, as we were killing them, there were like the words that they were speaking upon, and that was really fun. I think Ben was like, "You're gonna be really sad when this happened, when you listen to it." But in my mind, I was like, "Fuck that! No, they attacked us first. I'm gonna be really happy that I killed them. Like, fuck that." And also, it wasn't recorded, but before that, we were Ben was like talking about like, oh, the like lines and veils and stuff, and that there's gonna be a dog, and that I specifically said, well, I'm not gonna fight that dog. I'm gonna pet that dog. And then he was like, oh, okay, so we're not gonna make the dog hostile. And I'm like, hostile or not, I'm gonna pet the dog. I'm not gonna fight it. And that was just like, I am interested, like, after listening to the skeletons, I am interested in like knowing more about their life, knowing more about like, especially more about the Brazen. But I'm gonna be honest, the Undying Empire is really like that. Just the name, the Undying Empire, is just really what interests me a lot, because I like knowing about fucked up, like religious and those kind of things. Theology major, like I know a lot of like fucked up stuff, so I enjoy breaking it down, learning about it. So my Reginald Ramirez Ramos is the very thing that is me there is the scholarly part, where he is very much interested in learning about the Undying Empire, and I'm interested in learning about the Undying Empire the same way he is. It's like, I'm gonna admit that the Undying Empire is fucked up, and 100% I'm gonna try and break it down, but also he would be the kind of scholar that would just be like super excited to find out more and to just talk to like the king and just be like, oh, you really are fucked up, and would just be writing
This is sick
down.
as hell. Let's go. Go
This is
on.
the worst thing ever, and I am going to end up killing you, but tell me more. Can I have your autograph, please? Yeah, that's the kind of person I am.
What's interesting is we know roughly about as much about the Undying Empire as you do.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I feel like
Perfect.
Zad has more head because shout out to Zad for just throwing fucking vampires at us out of nowhere.
I'm so fucking funny.
All of us missing all of the signs that they were
All of them.
vampires for solid
All
like
of them.
2 hours.
We didn't catch a single hint.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't terribly well signposted. Zanakostovich being allergic to the flowers because it's religious iconography is maybe the clearest hint, but it's just been like name checked a couple of times. And I actually did this when I was explaining it to my wife, who doesn't listen because podcasts aren't her thing. But I was telling her about like, here's Archduke Vladislav Zanakostovich, and actually went through that same arc and got to the point where I was like, yeah, and then 600 years later, Zanakostovich finally gets the wedding that he wanted because he lives forever and can just have one plan and sit around until it works. And she was like, wait a minute, 600 years? And I was like, oh, right. He's a vampire.
The thing about flowers being religious iconography is that's a couple steps about how people see religious iconography, even though it is completely accurate to the scene we had set and the culture we had built. Like, I feel like that's like kind of the fun part of this, is because it's being done by multiple people at once. It's a lot of like your personal biases kind of get stripped away because other people are bringing their own things into it, and so it becomes this like thing where it has to be about itself. It can't just be about like you and what you think about things, because there's 5 people in the room all writing all around it. So eventually like a consistent internal language that has nothing to do with the people doing it emerges, and it has everything to do with the thing that's being built. And that's about as heady as I'm going to try to get, because otherwise everyone's going to get
well, it's like, and then you get some really fun moments. Like I was 100% setting up the flowers and the ring being in the niches in the that was the niches. The alcoves was where the children were, but I was setting up that being the bouquet.
Children.
Yeah. The grown-up children, my bad. But I was setting up that being the bouquet that Hunter Gray threw at, and like having Gray be the person who was in the tomb, maybe. and that just got lost in the shuffle, and that setup ended up not being important because it wasn't interesting. I don't miss it, and we told a better story about other things, and at the end of the day, like, the guy who's buried there just loved his wife enough, or loved his partner. We don't know anything about who that partner is, but loved his partner enough.
It wasn't Arlia, which is sad. Or was it? We don't know.
But like, that marriage was important enough to be one of the 3 artifacts that were being displayed.
Yeah.
And then time just destroyed all of them.
The ring exists still, remember?
It's
the ring
there
yes.
somewhere.
Oh, that is true.
The ring is somewhere.
So that's kind of funny, because when I set up that the third alcove where someone could have been buried was empty, I was setting that up for Lenadia.
Oh. Also, I just want to clarify. Hey, I know what a niche and an alcove are. I was asking for the sake of people who might not know what those are. I just want to clarify. I know what those were.
No, you asked in such a way that we all knew that you knew, and you were just being courteous.
Hey,
No,
I was one of those people that didn't know what they were.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally okay to not know words, but I did get self-conscious after listening, going, what if they think I'm stupid?
This is actually, so, like, everybody listening at home, Lex is speaking with far more intention than you think they are.
Yeah, for real.
I don't believe you.
No, like, you make it sound exceedingly casual, and then, like, we'll just kind of get something dropped in chat later that's just like, oh, hey, by the way, here's the thing that I've been doing the entire time, and we'll be like, oh, that's been extremely helpful, thank you for doing that, we had no clue. So
Also, Bree fucking does that all the time, but with
Bree-
narrative stuff.
Look, okay.
Bree's sneaky.
Bree
Don't
good.
trust her.
So what's really funny is, Lex, when you made that comment about, like, I've been, like, planning my whole thing this whole time. Not really. I got a chance to add another thing to a thing I had going on, and, like, we hadn't established what the runners were doing, so the Xana Kostovich families just disappeared. No one knows what happened to them.
So my brain did immediately just go, I wanted to put Glyza on the spot. I was like, who's your favorite cast member, Glyza? I'm not going to do that.
Liza. Who is it and why is it sad?
My favorite cast member is Biggest Bees because of the glitter thing, and that is what
True.
I'm going to say.
True.
Yeah.
That was
Bees.
beautiful
Good
because it was awesome because the funniest thing was I knew that the glitter thing was just it was a throwaway thing.
Mm-hmm.
literally.
And then suddenly it became his whole thing. He had different plans about Goobin the Goofin Goobin the Adequate.
Yeah.
And the moment that he did the glitter thing, everything changed. And it also changed all of us. Like, the glitter thing was a moment that changed everything.
Changed the
And that's
world.
why it was such an important thing.
I've played with Bees a lot, and my favorite thing, he always ends up doing this anyway, but my favorite thing was when we're like halfway through, we're getting towards the end of the session, he's about to actually use an attack spell, and he's like, oh, I'm going to use this spell, and it looks like, and then he kind of sighs, and he has that look in his eye, and he's like, well, I guess I'm stuck with it. It's a glitter ball, and it goes in there. Like, he also knows that he accidentally did this to himself.
Also, I just want to say the name Goobin is... No one ever talks about the mouthfeel of a name. Goobin, it travels from the back to the front, then goes back in, and I don't like that. Goobin.
I absolutely love how he discovered Goobin's voice too. That was beautiful. He was just like, oh no, this is gonna be Goobin's voice. Damn it.
And
That
yet
was
somehow,
really funny.
in the space of maybe 40 minutes of actual talk time in a 2-hour session, I knew Goobin.
Yeah.
I've met Goobin. Okay, I'm a professional musician. I know Google. I've hung out with the guy. He's really annoying.
Yeah.
Mouthfeel.
So bringing it back.
Bring it back. Yeah, let's get out of that. Get out of that cul-de-sac quick.
Sorry, class. Sorry.
Lex got the giggles.
So I was gonna say, because Zad started a thing where it was saying having Gubin show up again, and what I wanted to say was I want that entire party to show up regularly throughout.
100%.
Yeah, I'd love to see them again, either in their own individual things or as an adventuring party.
I want
think
that party to stick around, and every time we do anything major, I want them to somehow be there. But it's probably not possible to do it every time, but I would love just Reginald
Ramos Ramirez.
Ramos,
Reginald Ramirez Ramos.
Oh
Roosevelt,
fuck, we all fucked it up.
It's okay.
RRR.
Rihanna. Railroad.
I am interested in like seeing. So what we've got, like the elements that we have is we've got Gubin is about to be accepted by like the Brazen by doing a cool magic show. We've got Reginald Ramirez Ramos is going to become Brazen, and that has its own level of baggage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juniper
Right.
is made of hair.
And Juniper could potentially also be Brazen by nature of being Reginald's twin. So it's like,
Right.
we've got a whole thing that we could be interacting with here.
Which for the audience, in our group chat, we regularly talk about the concept of brazen twins and like throwing their weapon back and forth, or they're getting in an argument and they're stealing the weapon from each other over and over. Have you ever? Hey,
I forgot
That
they
says
were
it.
twins when you were talking about that. Like, we already
Yeah.
have twins. Oh no.
hey,
Yeah.
quick side tangent. Lex has a hyperfixation. If you've ever played Kingdom Hearts, there's scenes where Keyblade wielders like teleport the Keyblades away from each other, like that. You know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
honestly, Gamer Mom Luna and I, when we were creating the character, we didn't talk about like how we were gonna. The only thing that we agreed on was that they were gonna be 69 years old. Nice.
Nice.
That was the only thing we agreed on, and somehow we ended up really being like twins because we both chose fingerless gloves. We both chose just like aspects of each other that were very twin-like, and also Reginald Ramirez Ramos is trans man. It's a trans mask. So like all of these things are like just like we didn't talk about it, but we just ended up building this two twins, separate, but it felt very twin like, and it's cool. Also, I think it's important to remember that Reginald Ramirez Ramos came out of a bit that I was doing with Ben on Twitter, and as we were talking back and forth, and I was like, oh no, this is the character. This is who he is. And I wanted to make him like a hot man. Like I wanted to build a hot man, and then suddenly it was like, okay, no, he's a balding old guy, and he'll be great.
Yes.
And yes.
So specifically, I'm just going to pull up the picture. So if you know the
Great for
legendary
an audio
picture
medium.
of well, no, I'm going to describe it to you because that's actually way funnier. So we know the legendary painting of Plato and Socrates, where Socrates is pointing to the heavens and Plato has got his hand down like this and he's holding a book, and they're surrounded by all like these old ass philosophers. So if you start from Plato, who's in the blue on the right, and you count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people all the way to the edge. There's a dude, he is bald and in orange with a really long sort of triangular beard in profile. That's Reginald Ramirez Ramos.
That is exactly who Reginald Ramirez Ramos is.
Is it Ramirez Ramos or Ramos Ramirez? I already forgot.
So Ramos is his
Ramirez.
last name.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Ramirez Ramos, Reginald Ramirez Ramos.
Just so
Yeah.
many R's. Why, dude? Why is the bit that we keep having people with really long names that aren't English, and we must say them in full?
We have to say the
Every
whole
time.
fucking thing.
Gotta say
Yeah,
the full
Because I'm
Vladislav
Filipino.
Zarakostovich. Like,
No, no,
but
I know. No, see, you're Filipino, and
And that's how I
Dad just
that's how
wanted
I
to
live
make
my
us all
life.
suffer.
no, you're allowed. That's fine. It's totally cool. This is not a.
My
This is
full name is a long ass name, and if I have to suffer it, everyone does.
no. I understand long names.
Amazing
very
result.
cool and rad. I also have a long name, but that's my own fault. I'm just saying. Look, we are very silly Americans who can't pronounce things well. So when Zad pulled out Vladislav
Vladislav
Zanakostovich,
Zanakostovich.
Zanakostovich, which, by the way, every time I have to read the intros, I gotta get that in one, or else I'm mad at myself.
Can confirm it's the one who adds the interest. But so how I remembered the last name is Santa Costa bitch. I don't know why that works in my head.
I'm pretty sure
But
I made
that's
that
how I
joke at some
remember
point.
how to say Santa Kostovich.
Yeah, gonna cost you, bitch.
The most frustrating thing about Vladislav Zanakostovich is I really, really needed him to be a one-off character, and Zad would not let it go, and now we're stuck. Like, we're gonna have to deal with this asshole for a whole season, and we have to say his name every time. So it's almost like Zad is the villain.
True.
Is-
Hey. Shh.
Yeah.
I get to be the villain next season.
If you
Oh,
count
yeah.
Okay,
for the
that
frustrating enough
hardly
name, we
ever
can't get
gets
rid
to
of.
play the villain, so I think this is a great thing for them.
Oh.
That's why I was asking to do it next
I-
season.
I was almost the worst in the skeletons, by the way.
Go.
And then I had
Oh,
a
yeah.
moment.
Oh, right.
The fact that I picked the crawler, who, which as a skeleton in the thing, it's supposed to be you are like a dude who crawls around on all fours for some reason.
The art is horrifying.
Yeah, I was like,
It's really
Huh.
fucked up.
like I like a fucked up little guy. I'm just gonna be a fucked up little guy. I was ready to be like the worst. And then the first question I read was, why did you walk on all fours like an animal? And I decided, hey, you know, what'd be really sad if I were a dog. I have two modes: uncomfortable goofiness or real sad. You're gonna get one or the other from me at all times.
I'm
I still want to
genuinely
see if I
glad.
can get both in Rise and Fall of Gods.
So we're about an hour on tape. Do we have any final thoughts that we want to drop on the good people?
Yeah, so I have really strong opinions on jelly beans. Like just really strong opinions on them.
Okay.
Is it okay if I
I
go
don't
off for a minute?
particularly like them.
No, me either.
Me either.
They're the worst.
Okay, so
They
when you say
suck.
jelly beans, do you mean like just regular jelly beans, or are we going like full chaos with those like all flavor, the ones
Weird
that are,
like
they
puke
include
jelly
popcorn?
beans and stuff.
Weird or not, I just don't like them. They're not great.
To be clear, I have opinions on beans in general, but I'm sticking to jelly beans right now.
Yeah, we don't
But, like-
need to lose the lead here.
No,
All right,
that's
how's
not,
everyone feel about black licorice?
they're worse than jelly. It's worse than jelly beans. Worse than jelly beans. By far.
It's
Way worse.
You know
Worst
what I
thing I've ever
hate?
eaten.
You know what I hate when it comes
Capitalism.
to candy? Well, yeah, but also Skittles.
Skittles.
Yo,
Wow.
take that
Oh.
back.
I
Wow.
just don't like them. And I think it's because I didn't know they existed, and I knew M&Ms existed. And then somebody offered me a bowl, and I thought they were M&Ms, and I took
Oh,
a bite, and I was
no.
like, "This is the worst," because it's like eating a raisin cookie
Mm.
and thinking it's chocolate chip.
Mm.
Now I don't
Gotcha.
mind raisin cookies, but if your mind is like, "I'm gonna have a chocolate chip," and you take a great big bite and it's a raisin cookie, you're gonna hate that.
Oh no, like
And that's
the,
how I feel with Skittles.
the biggest gotcha I've gotten for putting a thing in my mouth
Was the word goobin?
Was the word no? That's
Goopy.
the biggest gotcha I did to myself, where I was maybe 10, and I went to brush my teeth, and I did not grab a tube of toothpaste. I grabbed a tube of Vagisil.
No.
Oh no!
All right, thanks everybody. That has been Gamewoven Cross Stitch.
I literally had like a movie like take where like I froze, looked at the toothbrush, looked at the tube, looked at the mirror, and just so this is what failure tastes like.
To your question though, Ben, a little bit of anise goes a very long way. Black licorice, very, very small pieces can be tasty. Anything more than that, it's just awful.
I fucking love black licorice. I will eat all the black licorice.
I knew you were a villain.
I just
What the
don't like
fuck?
licorice.
Look,
Am I
don't
the
trust-
only black licorice enjoyer in this
I don't
space?
trust anyone who likes
Small
black
mouse.
licorice.
I
Small
probably haven't tasted it.
Am I the only black licorice person in the entire AP community? Like,
Yeah.
could I be?
Probably
Am I
you are
actually the
that
villain?
weird.
Wow.
It is a heavily
That's
spiced
awesome.
as opposed to a sweet candy.
Do you want to know what I am the only one though?
My favorite.
Just- Straight corn water.
Aw. Canned corn.
Canned
Drink
corn!
That is the only thing that nobody else has on
Wait,
me.
did
I'm
you say
the only
drinker?
one. Yes,
Hold on. Did this motherfucker just say they drink canned corn?
I do.
Yes.
I'm
and I
calling the
did.
police.
Go ahead. Because you know what I did when I visited Ben? He offered me a drink, and I said, no, I have my own. And I pulled out a canned corn, opened it, and drank while staring him in the face. That's what
That
I
is-
did, and I was proud of it.
That is such a power move.
Thank you.
That is the most cursed shit I've ever heard in my life.
And that's saying something considering you helped build Zalo.
True, I did do that.
And
Um,
I'm from Iowa. You can't corn mog someone from Iowa, but somehow Glyza did.
hey, what the fuck is mogging? I'm afraid to ask.
When you go alpha on somebody in the red pill parlance.
What? What the fuck are you saying to me right now?
All those words aren't in the Bible.
Not a single one of those is in the Bible.
Oh.
Amen, amen, I say to you. What?
Should we what kind of stitch is it when you stop cross stitching for the night?
Yeah, what is that?
Um,
The final stitch.
I have a pitch for a thing to end on. If everybody wants to go around and give, with as little context as possible, favorite line, setting element, idea, like thing that we hit on,
The old green sage.
the old green sage. Solid.
Because I have a really bad memory. So, what the fuck do you mean, old green sage?
We'll establish the context later.
Sure, I just don't know what the fuck you mean.
I'll type it in the chat. But the old green sage.
Sure.
I had a thing and I lost it. Shit.
I'm sorry. For listeners, Ben is currently typing. He's writing a message to me in the chat.
Yep.
I am reading it, and I am understanding the reference he just made. Oh, okay, I remember now.
Okay. What about you, Bree or Zad?
I've edited all of this. I
What?
should remember things.
Hold on, hold the fuck up. Hold on. In the chat, where Ben really explained what we were talking about, Rob, who isn't here in this call, went, "Oh, the old green sage."
Yeah.
This is a conspiracy. I'm being gaslit right now.
I really, really badly want to, because it was a Twitter bit, but I want to make it real, where just like everywhere where there's a Verdreen, there is a like descriptor, color, or like second descriptor specifically of plants, and then some sort of like word for a magic user. Like I know we had discussed the young green sage at one point, or like the
soggy brown prestidigitator.
yeah, exactly. The
That's
soggy
my
brown
MC.
prestidigitator from like a swamp. And it's just like that's just like whoever leads these little bands of Verdreen have names like that.
No, we cannot make the soggy brown prestidigitator canon. We
No.
can't do that.
I disagree.
He's too
No.
fucking lit. He's just too good.
Buddies
was
with
just
Gubin were mostly
assassinated.
adequate.
I can't think of anything good other than the fact that everyone wanting to be the mysterious figure.
True. We were fighting over it.
hmm No, come on, please, come on. I
And
wanna be
another
the
reference
Super
that
Fly.
literally no one will get that we can cut out is everyone being upset that I got to make Little Pit.
The what? Oh, middle pit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, middle pit. Oh yeah.
Middle pit.
hmm That was in the tech test. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So in the tech test, we actually can do context for this one because there's no way for anyone to pick it up unless they. I mean, maybe
I
we'll
was-
release that.
I
Maybe
was
at some
gonna
point in the
cut it.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a practice run tech test of like lightning round the quiet year, and the first
One
thing I
season.
did was put a pit in the middle of the floating island, and everyone
And
was
we
like,
all
"Damn it."
wanted to do that.
We all wanted a middle pit.
Yeah.
We don't have a
And-
single brain cell, which was to make it literally the most cursed place in existence. You think Zalo is bad? You don't want to know what we did to that
Oh yeah, no. The
floating
tech
island.
test was worse than Zalo. It was
Yeah.
way worse. I'm gonna make a setting so fucked up.
If we're like referencing all the way back to that, hey, what do you reckon's in that tower?
Just more bees, probably.
Fucking government. Government's in that tower.
Government.
Government.
I don't know, but I want to get back in there, please.
The government is bees.
Glazo, what you reckon? What you reckon's in Southeast Tower?
Rat Kings.
Yo,
Fuck!
Rat King.
The gas
Rat
bed.
Kings.
Damn it.
Cannon,
Must be the
cannon,
Rat
cannon.
Kings.
Canon. It's in. Canon. It's in the non-canon tech. It's canon in the non-canon tech test.
Demi,
I actually was thinking of like, I don't know why, but I was thinking of a ship, and it's made of Rat Kings.
I'm just imagining a bunch of tiny little propellers that are their tails.
Did you? Oh, you guys are fucking cogito hazarding me. Like this could kill people. You say that out loud. What the fuck?
Oh, I still remember when there was a moment I made a comment about, has anyone seen the stars since this all started? And I got a what the fuck from Ben. I'm like, I feel like I get
True.
an achievement for that.
Yeah, achievement unlocked. Ben was like, "What the fuck?" Galiza, your out of context thing pertaining to your experience in Gamewoven.
Spider-Man, but instead of webs, glitter.
And that, dear audience, was the final stitch.
Well, nah, that's not it.
Now you can. I don't know what the fuck we're supposed to do. What do you
Last
call the
stitch,
last
good night.
stitch?
French
Huh?
knot is the last thing you do when you're done with cross-stitching.
The what?
That is the last. So a
It's-
lot of
it's called a
patterns
what?
have French knot.
French knot.
Yeah. So you do a lot of different stuff, but the French knot is the final thing you do when you're done. Not all cross stitches have French knots, but it is the last thing you do.
Hey,
What
can you
you
guys
got?
tell that I decided to call this cross stitch without actually knowing what the fuck a cross stitch was?
It's fine. It's all good.
I don't
It's
know
all
why. I
good.
thought you just did it because I wouldn't stop talking about it on Twitter.
No, it was just like Gamewoven, and I'm like, hey, we should have like a crosstalk show. Cross stitch?
So, what you're saying is that Eliza handsome jacked you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I was a great guest as the first one because I
True.
actively cross stitch.
No, Glyde's a great guest.
Sure.
Always.
Why is
forever.
this just great in general?
Eliza's
Why
always
is this
Ooh.
great?
Hey,
Ah!
hey,
No.
welcome to the Glyza edit.
Why is this great?
Hey, everyone say something nice about Glyza real quick.
I'm gonna take my headphones out.
So anyway,
I fucking love how bought in Glyza is all the time.
Ooh, yeah. No.
So-
Commitment to the bit, excellent thing about Glyza. Also, like, it's deeply passionate about like specific tropes. If Glyza is into something, you'll know about it.
True.
And not only that, but if you're willing to play in that space, then you just go do it, and they'll play in that space with you, and it's a great time.
Aw.
cute. Anyway,
Oof.
that
I
was
love that Glyza lets me keep kidnapping them into projects so we can hang out more. Because you're wonderful,
True.
and it's fun, and I enjoy the level of chaos you bring to things.
Currently, Glyza is actually melting. Glyza is achieving a
for sure.
liquid form.
It's true.
Thanks, everybody. That was Gamewoven Cross Stitch. Really appreciated you all listening along. Patrons, you're going to have a much different experience than regular listeners did, I'm sure. We love you. Thank you, Glyza, for coming on. Can't wait to have you back. Thank you, Zad. Thank you, Lex. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Rob, for not being here.
To clarify,
Didn't mean
Rob,
that, Rob.
we love
We missed
you.
you.
We miss you
yeah.
very much. We love you. Kiss and kiss.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Rob. Please try and make these in the future. Don't leave me trying to corral
Yes,
this.
this is... Rob, we need you. Only without you have we learned how bad it really can be. And yeah, maybe the next one will be a Q&A or something. Anyway, good night, everybody.
Hey.
Bye.
Please don't make anyone
That was-
listen to that.
That was the theme song. Whatever. I have a whistle like an angel.